Doctor?
Drink, I still sip. Weed, but still lit. Real nigga, real bitch, real nigga. Drink, I still sip. Weed, but still lit. Real nigga, real bitch, real nigga, real bitch. All right. That's what we're going to do. How many people? Oh, we over 400. All right, so let's get into what we need to talk about. So, family, many of you probably have seen the altercation between Anton Daniels, who's a YouTuber, and comedian Corey Holcomb. Corey Holcomb, that's my guy. Very interesting altercation they had. It looked like they were almost going to go to blows. It was very interesting, yelling back and forth. Now let's do a poll with the family. Let's do a poll. Now I'm assuming most of you have seen the altercation. That's on the 5150 show on YouTube. Who do you side with? Who do you think was in the wrong in that altercation? What's up, Dr. Nirvana? Who do you think was in the wrong? All right. Who was in the wrong in that situation? All right. Let's see. Somebody said Corey. All right. A lot of people saying Anton. Anton. Okay. 'Cause I see some people saying, well, Corey got punked. Corey did not get punked. This is my assessment of it. Anton went in there, kind of sarcastic and snarky and trying to provoke a little bit. And allegedly, Anton had security there, some security. And he was in there talking a little slick. And then Corey was kind of calling him out for, Anton is a performative white tea ass kisser. That's what it is. Anton is a performative. He does that performative white tea ass kissing. He does that. He panders to that crowd. And I don't even knock the hustle, by the way. I don't knock the hustle. Anton panders to the white tea supremacist alt-right crowd, being the so-called reasonable black person. Oh, I'm not like the rest. Ain't no racism. The white people ain't bad. We don't need reparations. He's on that. Anton has explicitly said we shouldn't get reparations, and he's actively against it. Oh, he's went out of his way to say we shouldn't get reparations. And a lot of it is performative. Many people say he's the tether. Nobody knows exactly where his background is. I know he carries himself like a tether. He claims to be from Detroit. I know many of the people in Detroit do not rock with him. Detroit really rock with him. I think some people think he's Nigerian. It's not definitive. You saying he's not FBA? He said he was African. You thought he was Nigerian? Yeah, nobody can give any definitive answer on where his background is from. I know he said some of that, well, black immigrants come over and do so much better than black people here. So I've heard him say that, and usually tethers say that. You understand? You said you're in Detroit and he's FBA. Yeah. He what, Lexi? Okay. But he's okay. All right. His mother's Jamaican. Okay, I don't know. It's up in the air. No, I don't know about that. I don't know about his mother's Jamaican, Panamanian. I've never heard him say he's Nigerian. So I don't know. But, he could be a tether. He talks like a tether, acts like a tether. But, he does that performative, white tea ass kissing thing. All right, that's your hustle, that's your bag. But all of that being from the D, being from Detroit,
He probably in the suburbs of Detroit somewhere, but he's not a Detroit cat. The Detroit don't really rock with him. Detroit don't really rock with that dude. You know? He said he's Haitian. I never heard him say that. And he a lot of his stuff he tries to say the criticism of him is because he's a conservative. He said he's Nigerian. Okay, I haven't heard that. I haven't heard that. I haven't heard that. So again, there's a lot of mystery, Southfield. There's a lot of mystery. What's up, T? On his background. So anyway, during the confrontation, him and Corey were going back and forth. He was pushing back on Corey. Corey was pushing back, and Corey was like, "Hey, you kissing? You got all this criticism for black people. You don't never say anything about white people." And Anton said, "You suck black people's D," and Corey was like, "Hey, hold on now, hey, wait a minute now. You talking like that? You talking like that? We might have to go somewhere with this thing." So Darlene was there. That's my homegirl. Darlene was there. So Corey's like, "Darlene, move out the way." So we sat right in front of Anton. It was like, "Hey, man, say all that sucking D stuff again. Say that again, man. It's going to be up." And, Anton was like, "Yeah, Corey, you ain't going to do nothing. And I'm saying this to your face." And then Anton, later on in the broadcast, Anton was like, "Yeah, we can go outside." And Corey's like, "No, we're going to sit here and, chop it up or whatever." And he never said it again. He never said it again. When Corey was in his face, he didn't say it again. Now, there was a lot of back and forth going on there. It didn't go to blows. It almost went to going to blows. Anton kept saying something to the effect of, "Yeah, I said something to your face." So, because that's what Anton wanted to do. He wanted to be able to go back to his platform and say, "Yeah, I went on Corey's show and I said whoop, whoop, whoop to his face and nothing happened." So he wanted to kind of sell those whoop tickets. Some people are like, "Well, Corey backed down because Anton got up and said, 'Hey, we can go outside.'" Let's be very clear. Anton wasn't going to do nothing. Let's be clear. Anton wasn't going to do nothing. I saw a video of Anton, I think he made it today, talking about how he would have beat Corey up and all that. No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. Yeah, he had security with him. There's a couple of things that he said on the broadcast that let me know Anton wasn't about to swing or do nothing. When he was on there talking about, "Yeah, I play chess. Yeah, I'm playing chess. I can make you do what I want you to do." He was saying little stuff like that. So, he was basically admitting that he was in there to do some provocations. Also, another thing he said, when they were talking about jail, Anton said, "I ain't been to jail. I'm never going to jail. I would never do anything that would put me in jail. I don't hang around niggas who've been to jail," and all of that. And that was a very interesting thing to say. That was interesting. That right there lets you know Anton wasn't about to swing or do nothing. Anton wasn't going to do nothing. Right there. He's letting you know, yeah, you get into a physical fight, yeah, there's a possibility you go to jail. We don't want to go to jail, but some people, we're not scared of jail. But when people say they're never going to jail, that means a lot of these cats, and you don't want to go to jail, by the way, but you're scared of jail. You're scared of it because you wouldn't really survive in there because white men can't protect you. You understand? The Sambo class, they rely on white male protection. You understand that? They rely on white male protection. And Corey, I'm glad he didn't swing on. He was about to. I think if Anton had said that little slick shit again about sucking this and sucking that, Corey would have just swung on him and said, "Hey, man, I'm just going to have to deal with the consequences." But let's be very clear. When Anton got up talking about let's go outside, for cats like him, that's a stalling tactic. That's a stalling tactic. If it's up, it's just gonna be up right there. All that, hey, let's go over here. Let's go over there. Let me take my shoes off. Hold on, let me get my coat off. When dudes do all of that stalling, yeah. Anton wasn't gonna do nothing. Let's be clear. All of that, let's go outside. You know what Anton was going to do? Because he had his phone in his hand. He already dialed 9. He was just waiting to dial the 1-1. If they went outside, Anton would have dialed 911. Let's stop playing. You say, I'm being biased? Well, no, I know Corey and those dudes. Those are my guys. I know them. Those are my guys. All right, those are my niggas. Yeah. So I know what to get down. And Craig, that's another thing. If something went down, they went outside and some fisticuffs started happening and Anton's security tried to jump in, Craig was up there, man. It would have been up. It would have been all the way the hell up, dude. For real, for real. Yeah? Yeah, Craig pulled up a little bit later on in it. But yeah, if it was something where it was all of these people throwing down and these security guards jumping in and, man, please. But let's be very clear. Anton wasn't going to do nothing. He wasn't going to do nothing at all. We know his type. I know these types, dude. I deal with these dudes. I done been to court with them. Those types, these little shit-talking dudes. And listen, Corey had already had a situation up there where hands were thrown, people up there running their mouths saying slick stuff. Hands got thrown and then they ran and sued. You understand? So Corey has already had a situation like that. So I understand where Corey was coming from, trying to have restraint because you saw what dude was trying to do. Anton was trying to provoke so that hands can get put on him. You talk tough. The minute people put hands on you, all of a sudden you turn into full bitch mode. You talk all of that gangster shit. Dude, I see it. I done dealt with these type of dudes, man. I done dealt with them. I'm telling you firsthand. I done been up in court with dudes snitching. These dudes turn to straight bitches. Y'all know how I get down. Y'all know what my get down is. I pulls up. And then these niggas start bitching up. Bucci, all these dudes. I ran up on Bucci's fat ass. He twerked his fat ass over a fence and ran. That nigga started clapping his ass like Megan Thee Stallion when I ran up on his fat ass. That nigga started performing wet ass pussy when I ran up on his big jolly ass. You know, and we know Ugly Turtle. When I slapped the fez off this nigga's head, that nigga, he went to court. He filed a suit. All up in court, snitching like a motherfucker, talking about how I beat up on him. Yeah? Ugly Turtle. All up in court talking about it. Oh yeah, talk all that tough shit on the internet. That nigga was all up in court. He beat me. Ooh. He hit me in my head, kicked me in my pussy. Ooh, ooh. That nigga up in court like Cassie. You understand? I done had niggas up in court talking about how I done whooped on them after they done talked all that shit. You know? Talk all that shit and then get whooped on and then all of a sudden you up in court. You know? Zaya, hold on. Zaya, you're not going to troll in here, homie. You're not going to troll, little bitch ass. All right? Get Zaya out of here. You're not going to troll in the room. You're not going to do that. We got these beta male tethers. Now, I noticed a lot of tethers are co-signing Anton. The tethers because, they see themselves in that. White ass kissing, hate black Americans. Really a beta male trying to pretend to be an alpha male. You know? You know? Oh, yeah. So, yeah, I'm telling you firsthand. I know how these little internet dudes who talk all that tough talk, man, when you call their bluff and slap their damn ears together, these niggas turn into straight hoes. Straight up. They go put a thong on and go file a suit. You understand? Bitch made. There's a whole bunch of them out there. And I think Antoine is one of them. He would have been the main one. He wasn't going to bust a grape. His energy is too bitch made. All of that. Dudes who kiss white ass like that, they ain't about that. That's the beta male shit right there. That shows you how much of a bitch dudes are. All that white ass kissing. You understand? You ain't going to bust a grape. You've already shown you're subservient. You feel me? But listen, yeah, the dudes, they're trying to bait Corey, and I'm glad my brother Corey didn't take the bait. I'm glad he didn't take the bait. Yeah, because Corey, I believe Corey was going to put hands and feet on him. You did? But, all of that performative criticism of black Americans, that's Anton's brand. And he said some little slick shit about me before. I just ignored it because I see he's kind of bitch made. You dig? And also, he's performing. So now Anton is going to go out here and probably get booked on some of these podcasts from some of the alt-right types. So, this is like a brand thing. You're showing out for the white tea supremacists. Yeah? Yeah, that's what that is. You see? My mods, we're going to have to do something about some of the tether trolls in here. We got to get the tether trolls up out of here, just spamming shit. But let me tell you something. That false alpha male thing that, Anton does it. Notice all of these dudes who do that false alpha male, I'm an alpha male, dominance, hierarchy, beta male, alpha male, all that shit. Notice there's a pattern with the Andrew Tates, who does the alpha male thing, and Myron Gaines, who does that alpha male. Oh, we got to check the women. We got to check these bitches and all. There's a pattern with these dudes. They defer to whiteness. You notice that? They defer to white males. They can't handle their candle like that. They rely on laws, courts, all that stuff for protection. That's not alpha male behavior. Yeah? Just like Andrew Tate goes around talking about being the top G. He got his ass whooped by a damn punk. Andrew Tate got his ass whooped. He did that boxing match recently. All that alpha male talk, got in that ring, a punk with a ponytail and some pink gloves whooped his ass. You understand? You said Anton went to a private Catholic school. I believe that, in Detroit. Yeah, Anton ain't gonna bust no grape. Switching around, he ain't gonna bust no grape. Antoine Daniels is built like Candace Vaughn. He's not gonna do nothing. Countess Vaughn, I say Candace. Countess Vaughn, he's built like Countess Vaughn. He's built like the Parkers. He's a little funny built dude, ain't gonna bust a grape. I don't think he's FBA either, but I don't know. But come on now. Let's stop playing games. Yeah, these dudes do all that provocation stuff, talk all that trash, and then run to the damn police. And that's exactly what he was going to do. He wasn't going to bust nothing. The minute Corey put a finger on him, he was going to hop on. He had two phones in his hand. He was going to dial 911 on both of them. He wasn't going to do nothing. Yeah. But yeah, all of that false alpha male posturing. Alpha males don't really have to do all that. You can just be. You can just be cool and just be who you are. I want y'all to understand something. That Andrew Tate, Anton Daniels, Myron Gaines, what they do, there's like a borrowed masculinity. See, they perform power that they don't control. They perform a version of alpha masculinity. It's not rooted in any type of sovereignty or self-determination, but it's an imitation. They think they're imitating the white supremacists because notice it's the non-white cats who go out of their way to degrade and denigrate black society. They use all of these white supremacist talking points because they try to emulate white supremacists. This wealth worship, oh, I got all this money, and this dominance rhetoric, and put these women in their place, these bitches ain't shit, and all that stuff. Yeah, that's them trying to mimic the white supremacists. They're trying to sound like them. Yeah? That's all cap. Oh, God, hold on. I'm trying to, these Pakistanis are trying to get up here. See, these people, they do all this denial of racism. That's like a loyalty test. You know, that's how they credential themselves to signal to the white male power structures. Hey, I'm safe. Give me money. I won't disrupt your hierarchy. I won't demand justice. Racism don't exist with me. I'll reprimand the niggers for you. Just give me some money. Yeah, you're not an alpha. When you defer to the white supremacist power structure, you're not a damn alpha. You're a false alpha. That's loud. You're trying to have loud dominance, but there's zero risk. Let me tell you something. True dominance, that involves risk. That involves real confrontation. That involves real consequence. Dudes like Tate and Myron Gaines and Anton Daniels, they avoid all three, just yelling at other black people. There's no, yeah, you might get whooped on the streets, but then all you're going to do is go call white daddy to come save you. And yeah, they posture aggressively towards women. Notice these guys, their attitudes are very hostile towards women, very hostile towards black society, because there's no institutional retaliation doing that. But they become extremely submissive and polite and differential when it comes to dealing with white male authority. So that just shows it's all performance. You're not no damn alpha male. You ain't challenging no real damn power. You know, some of us on the grassroots, we challenge real power. We go after white supremacy. We call them out. Yeah, there's a risk to that because you will go to jail in many cases. When you sit up and say you're never going to jail, that means I ain't gonna never challenge white supremacy. You understand? Yeah, that shows that you're an alpha if you challenge the top dogs in the institutional part of society who runs the institutions. That's the white supremacists. When you start challenging them, then you start getting visits from the FBI and all that shit. They start having a file on you. Yeah, y'all scared of that, alpha males. Yeah, you don't want that. Yeah, that's tether energy. Yeah? Yeah, they got a real big fear of white male retaliation. You do all that bravado talking and all that, but there's a deep psychological fear of them crossing white male power. That's why Corey kept calling Anton out. You don't say nothing about white people. I ain't gonna say nothing about that. See, history, it teaches you that non-white men, you start defying the white power structure, you can get destroyed. So instead of challenging racism, you try to rationalize it away. You understand? You get real submissive. That's why with Myron Gaines, where he loves kissing white ass, you see the pictures of Myron Gaines laying in bed hugged up with white tea men. Yeah? Come on now. Y'all hit those hearts. We almost got 80,000 hearts. Hit those hearts. But the thing is, man, these dudes seek validation from white tea men. The Anton Daniels, they not from their own communities. Their sense of manhood depends on being seen as reasonable, logical, or one of the good ones by the white patriarchal gatekeepers. That's why they just regurgitate all of these white supremacist talking points. You understand? And Corey said, asked Antoine, he was like, "Are you black?" Antoine was like, "I'm not black, I'm Christian." He identifies as Christian. Boy, that's tether talk. And that's my thing. If you don't identify, you don't see yourself as black, why? We don't need you reprimanding the black community. You're not reprimanding us as an insider on some tough love shit. You understand? You're weaponizing your self-hate and you're trying to rebrand it as accountability. When you attack black society on some tough love or accountability, but you never apply that scrutiny to the white systems of power. Basically, you're not one of us. You're a hostile outsider. That's why many people believe he's a tether. He could be. I don't know his background. But he could be a tether. We know that Myron is. But historically, that's that overseer mindset. See, that's the mindset of the overseer. See, a lot of people who gain limited authority by enforcing the dominant system on other melanated people. The modern version, they don't carry a whip. The microphone is the whip now. You just kind of verbally whip on black society for your white tea supremacist paymasters. So basically, your whole shtick is designed to discipline black society for white approval. That's beta male shit right there. And all of that fake hypermasculinity, that's compensation for powerlessness. All of that loud masculinity performance, yeah, that shows a deep insecurity. When men lack real power, they will exaggerate dominance aesthetics. Cars, money, misogyny, aggression, while you remain structurally powerless. Yeah? Let's be real. True masculine strength, ladies and gentlemen, it's rooted in principles, it's rooted in boundaries, it's rooted in protection of your people, even at personal cost. Dudes like Anton and Myron Gaines and people like that, you will fold instantly the minute white male power is involved. You turn into bitches. When the white man shows up, all of a sudden, you can't do no wrong. It's these niggers. I got them off you, white daddy. You turn into that. Yeah, that's submission and that's subordination. You're not an alpha male. You're not doing anything new. That's just old Samboing. And yeah, and stop talking like you're going to fight and do all this shit in the streets. No, you're going to call daddy, white daddy. When something happens, somebody put hands on you, you going to run to white daddy. All right? Because what these dudes, let me keep it above. A lot of those Sambo classes, they know they cannot be the white male. They know they can't be the white male who they covet. They know they can never be that. The best they can do is act like a white bitch. So these niggas start acting like Karens. You understand? They act like a Karen. They'll talk crap, and the minute things get physical, I'm going to call the law. I'm going to go and testify. I'm going to get a restraining order. You understand? They turn into white women. You turn into Karens. And they act sassy like Karens. You dig? They talk about black society like they're Karens. There's a very feminine energy about these dudes. You understand? Real shit. All right, divestors do that too. Right. Let me talk to the family. Y'all hop on. Who wants to hop on here? We got a lot of people in here. Let's hop on. All right, let's get the family in here. Now, let's be real. Now, Corey did the right thing. And I know it was hard. You had to restrain yourself because, yeah, this dude talking this cash shit, and Corey knew he was bitch made. Corey knew if he put hands on him, that dude was going to Karen out. He was going to run, file a suit. He was going to run, file a damn police report, and file a damn lawsuit. You know? He already knew. I'm telling you, that's what these dudes do. That's a new thing now. With these dudes on the internet, they talk that and they act like they're in the streets. No, you're not. You ain't out here like that. You're talking greasy. You can't move anywhere. You can't rock anywhere without security because you talk greasy. That whole performative provocation thing, that's like a new thing on the internet. Because these dudes ain't got no, it's nothing for these dudes to get beat up now. See, back in the day, you got beat up. There was a shame to it. But because these dudes are de facto white women, they've accepted being bitches. Them getting beat up ain't, they don't even look at that as an L. You understand? They don't even look at that as, just like Charleston White. Charleston White talks a bunch of shit. And, you know, people to beat up on him and slung him around. And it's like, okay, I'm still alive, though. So, yeah, it's like they've accepted it. There's no shame in getting beat up and becoming a punching bag. You know? Dudes out here getting slapped up, running and snitching. Yeah, that's another thing. These niggas running out here telling you provoke something and then get beat up and then go run and snitch. These ain't no shame in that. These niggas are women. They've accepted being bitches. It's shameless right now. That's what we got out here. I'm telling you, I done been in court with a grown ass nigga, instigated something with me, and I done put hands on them, and they up in court scratching their coochie, talking about how much I done beat up on them. Grown man. And I'm like, and you got a wife? How you go home to your lady after getting slapped up by a nigga? How you go home to your lady? That's my thing. These dudes be having women. These dudes have, women will still lay up with niggas like that. Women, y'all, how y'all feel about laying up with a nigga who'd have been slapped up? Let me talk to the women, because some of these women that's another thing. We got to talk to some of the women. Y'all laying up with some of these dudes. What's going on with y'all, ladies? Your man is some of your dudes out here getting thrown around and smacked up and kicked all in their stomach and beat up like Cassie. Yeah, I smacked a bitch nigga and he got a whole wife. I'm like, nigga, you had to go home to your wife slapped up. And I mean, I slapped the nigga, he ran. This nigga, I slapped the motherfucker, he ran. He turned around and hauled ass and had to go back home to his wife. Does your coochie get dry with a slapped up nigga trying to hit that? I'm just trying to understand where you're coming from, ladies. Y'all coochie don't get dry when your nigga done been slapped up? You know? Now the cat I slapped up, I think he probably tried to lie to his wife. Well, he swung, but I had ducked. It looked like he hit me, but he had missed. And I think the wife probably like, oh, okay. Deep down, he got slapped up. Yeah. You don't get, y'all don't get dry. Yeah. Man. Y'all not embarrassed by these niggas? Yo, dude out here getting swung up and slapped around and niggas running down on him, beating him up and all that old shit. That's what these internet dudes. It's like Bucci's fat ass. Bucci, he done been all over LA getting punched up and punched on and up there, no jumper. They punching on him, popping his fat ass across the floor. They niggas up there spitting on him and all that shit. Come on, man. What the hell is going on with these dudes? Some of these dudes act like they get off on that. They like getting whooped on. Yeah? What the hell is going on with these dudes? Are y'all wives immigrants? Are these third world women who need a green card? Who's laying up with these type of dudes? Yeah? Who's laying up with these dudes? Man. Let me get some folks in here. Let me get some people in here. Now with Charlemagne, I give Charlemagne the benefit of the doubt. Because it was 3 niggas tried to jump him in the morning. So I give him the benefit of the doubt. They tried to ambush him in the morning. Yeah, some cats tried to catch him and ambush him at like 6 o'clock in the morning. So that was something else. Yeah, that was yeah. So yeah, you get ambushed, so you don't know what's going on. So yeah, I give him the benefit of the doubt. But if you run up on a nigga and instigate something, if you talking shit and you instigating, and somebody slap your ears together and then you run and then go press charges, you's a bitch. Yeah. And anybody co-sign that is a bitch. That's why Tether's like co-signing dudes like that. Tether's like co-signing these slapped up niggas. Because that's what you see yourself in that. You see yourself as getting whooped on and beat on, and you're a perpetual victim. You see yourself in that. Yeah? Man, let's be real. But I commend my brother Corey. I know it was hard for him to not get down. I know what it is. Because yeah, these dudes out here run to court. They run file suits and all that. They do it. I'm telling you from experience. I done been up in court with these dudes and talked about how much I done kicked them all up in their ass and whooped on them. I done been there. I'm telling you, dude. Yeah. So it's a whole different crop of niggas out here. Back in the day, we throw hands. We just threw hands. When you catch a nail, you caught a nail. You dust it off and you keep that thing pushing. No, you got Cassie ass niggas. You got niggas who's like Cassie. A nigga go put on a sundress and some flip flops sitting up on the stand talking about a nigga done whooped on you. Yeah, come on, man. All right, let me get some folks in here.
Doctor?
Drink, I still sip. Weed, but still lit. Real nigga, real bitch, real nigga. Drink, I still sip. Weed, but still lit. Real nigga, real bitch, real nigga, real bitch. In calls, I'm coming down that pink drip. I still tip that hip shit. She don't pin fuck, I pick up, I still hit. That's in calls, I'm coming down that pink drip. I still tip that hip shit. She don't pin fuck, I pick up. I still drink, I still sip. Weed, but still lit. Real nigga, real bitch, real nigga. Drink, I still sip. Weed, but still lit. Real nigga.